It's 2024. It's time for action figures to get to fuck it, I don't know. Hello and welcome to Wednesday Night OnlyFigs. Or not even Wednesday Night, to the Modern Toy Fair. Wow, this is the problem of doing it live. I blame Corey for this. He's like, oh, I need to get my stuff. Welcome to Modern Toy Fair. I'm your host, Mr. Modern Toy Fair, and I'm joined by the founder of the Neck Illuminati, the delayer of shipments, the procrastinator of pre-orders, the perfect person, the two-time daddy, my YouTube wife, Mrs. Modern Toy Fair, Jarmar_Games. But that's not all. I'm also joined by the consumer of all things vile. He is one of the former co-hosts of the Figuratively Speaking podcast, Corey. And last, but certainly not least, we have the man Modern Toy Fair has full custody over. The man known as Bearded Spice. The man Officer Strain popped in and refuses to stop. The Twilight Knight. The Master of Mac. The three-pump chump of taking the show off the rails. Nate. Yeah?
Hello. Hello.
How you guys doing?
Chat real quick.
Let's take this in the mode of some smooth jazz, fellas.
Oh Jesus!
Let's
I thought you were going
relax.
to tell us a wonderful poem written by you.
Oh no! There once was a man from Nantucket.
Anyway, in chat we got Chris Allen. Hey now, how's it going, man? We got Eric the Met. It's 2024, and Michael makes his 5 viewers wait nearly 10 minutes and blames on everyone in the panel. First off, I didn't make you wait 10 minutes, and second of all,
That was
It's not my fault. I was actually on a split second before Michael.
he was like he popped on right as I was clicking it. But
It's my-
either way, we didn't make you wait 10 minutes, but I didn't blame the lateness on Corey. I blamed the fact that I completely blanked on everything and thought it was OnlyFigs on Corey. There's a difference. Anyway, so since the cold open completely flopped, this week we're going to be talking about what the expectation should be for action figures in 2024. Because I feel like there's a lot of companies that are not up to par in a lot of ways. And I guess we should probably narrow it down to price ranges to be fair. So we'll do like your basic retail, like $20-$30. And then we'll do like the mid tier, which will be your like Super 7s around like the $50-$60 range. And then we can also do like high end figures at the like $100 range. So let's start with the good old retail. What are things that for $20 to $30 you feel should be a standard by now across the board, like no exceptions? And that could be anything: accessories, articulation, paint apps, sculpt.
I definitely feel like double jointed knees at the least.
Not even double jointed elbows.
Yeah, I would go knees first, like, but elbows as well. Like the I don't know, like it that's always a weird subject for me because so many Marvel Legends collectors like hold it in such high regard. And like if you look back, Mattel was doing that with their DC line right at the end. They're doing it with the Masterverse line. These are like normal $20 figures. Like it's not anything special is what I'm trying to say. Like it's like they've been doing like the invisible joints for forever with I feel like Masterverse. I don't know if Masterverse Series 1 had them, but for the most part, I'm looking at all these Masterverse figures that I've had for a while. Here's Jitsu. He's got invisible joints. It's not that special, guys. That should be a standard. It shouldn't be something that we're talking about like it's like a deluxe or, awesome thing. It's boom, there it is. I think I paid $15 for him. So
that was on clearance, though.
Yeah, it was on clearance, but the normal.
By that logic, you've bought a lot of Marvel Legends figures that don't have that for $15.
Bought a lot. I just bought a lot of Marvel Legends figures, but yeah, I think that's a given at this point now with the way technology is, and these mold injection. I don't know what you call it. The their processes. They definitely should start having that now, because if you look back, that process was even on some Masters of the Universe Classics figures. I don't know her name. The queen who has the bird wings, her bird wings on the back. She's got the same type of process. She's got joints molded into her wings that I'm looking at them. I'm like, wow, you can't even like pop these joints out of the wings. They were molded inside of the wing, like way back when. So I don't even know what year that was. Probably maybe 2014.
Are you talking about like molded into the shoulder, or more like the wings themselves have a joint?
Like the wings themselves have joints.
Yeah. So like the new Angel figure is what you're talking about.
Yeah, like that. Yeah. And I mean, it's been around for a while now. So I think that should be a standard in all of $20 to $30 figures for sure.
Fair.
That's fair.
Speaking of standard, I think it should be standard for a $20 to $30 figure to come with at least a foot peg like stand.
Oh,
I think it's
a good one.
Very cheap plastic. It doesn't have to be specific to like, comic series, Marvel Legends, or MCU. It can just be something generic that is in the box for every figure.
Essentially, because does McFarlane still do that? Because I know they used to.
McFarlane does, yeah.
Okay, because I knew they had the little circle, the black circle ones for.
Yeah, they're not the world's greatest stand, but at least they give it to you.
Yeah,
and like if you wanna upgrade it to something else, you can, but at least they give you that option. I think that's a great one, Jarmar. Yeah. Like that's a great one. Because I'm super mad that it's only on these retro carded G.I. Joes that they have these actual molded stands. Now they're the same price as a regular classified. So why aren't we getting these? At the very least, Hasbro Pulse should be offering these to us.
Yeah, it's like selling them a 10-pack or something like that.
Yeah. But
you can't even buy them?
No. So I only have weird. 2 of these.
That's so weird.
I don't, I typically don't get the retro ones because they're not that different in most cases.
I wonder if anyone's like 3D printed or casted those on eBay.
Oh, I mean,
don't you have something like that?
Yeah, I have a bunch of them. Like, yeah, I get these off eBay. So,
okay,
and I can get them in all kinds of different colors. I've got Ninja Turtle ones that actually have like shells on them, and then like I get the different colors. So like Mikey always is orange, and it's a mess up here, but it's also it's extremely well organized. Yeah. It's just sometimes the execution is where it gets lost. But yeah. So yeah, but I have to buy these from someone. So yeah, someone's got a little bit of a side hustle or whatever, but
sure.
It should be a standard across the board. Especially if Marvel Legends keeps going the route of not giving us build-a-figure parts.
Yeah. Yes.
Because I noticed that it's more and more retro figures are coming out at a $24.99 price range, but it's like, yeah, I love that backer card art, but where's the build-a-figure now? They've pulled that away.
Yeah. And it's not like they're replacing it with more accessories. If anything, you're probably getting less accessories on top of that.
Well, you definitely are.
For sure. Yeah.
Which I feel like that's something that definitely needs addressed. I feel like at the $25 range, at bare minimum, you should be getting an alternate head, an extra set of hands, and 1 accessory. I feel like that's not much to ask for.
Yeah, and what's the average right now? 1 accessory?
You're lucky if you get an extra set of hands or an accessory.
Right.
That was my answer 100%. Alternate head, alternate set of hands. Every figure, like honestly, at that price range, especially if we're looking down, for sliding down into that $30 range at a retail level, like yes, I can scream at the skies and yell about whatever I want to yell at about things being raised in price.
Oh, okay.
You also have to look at the fact that, the quality is a lot of times insane at these retail level figures. You know, I mean, Michael, you could just see it alone in the classified series with what some of the stuff that you've been able to get, you know, at that price range. So the quality is there. We can't say that across the board with Hasbro, but in certain aspects, because I think we're kind of pinpointing this at Hasbro a little bit, but obviously they can do it. And so yeah, we're getting down to that $30 price point, so it absolutely should have that alternate head if it warrants it. Even though a helmeted character, like, it should have like a different variation or a battle damage version or something.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, and if it's a masked named character, it should be a real person underneath. And like I said, yeah, at least one set of extra hands.
Yeah.
That's bare minimum. Yeah, and an accessory of any kind. I don't even care.
It could be one of those swirly magic effects that Nate hates. It could be.
Yeah, like I'm tired of them. I'm tired of the same ones. But you know, at the end of the day, I'd rather have one than not have one.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Marvel Legends, it's funny. Like, in my head, I'm thinking, Doctor Strange's magic would never look like Havoc's bubble shooter energy. I don't know what you call it. Like, I hate that too. It's like all of the magics look similar to each other.
Yeah. And we've had at least 15 years of the same Iron Man blast effects. Like,
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, at least we get them.
And also,
then,
like,
you know,
realistically, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like,
right.
How much improving can you do on that? There's only so many variations of that blast effect you could do. And
maybe this is why the line doesn't exist anymore, but the Lightning collection from Power Rangers did have like a lot of different effects pieces that weren't repeated all the time.
Yeah,
they were
repeated when they were needed, not versus like where
you had like a sword one that was obviously very much to fit on the sword, but sometimes they were bigger, sometimes they were smaller. You know, I won't go into all of it, but they had a lot of really cool, unique pieces.
Sometimes you're looking at it, you're like, where does it go?
Oh, does it? It just give me this.
Just a crackly thing.
I have.
Yep.
I think it was it was when I got the Power Rangers Donatello crossover figure.
Oh yeah,
I remember we trying to figure out how to get the flame thing on the axe. I'm like, what the fuck is this? It's like a puzzle.
They're like, yeah, we just do that in there.
Those are all mistakes. They're just like the mistake pile, and they're just like, throw one of those in there. They love that stuff.
Yeah, because even if like you try to look at where like the divot is, where it's supposed to, like the indent, it doesn't always like help you figure it out at all.
I was gonna put this up there. Do you guys think it's weird that like you can look at a classifieds figure and the amount of detail that they have in the classifieds figure, like you look at their pants, they have sewn paint, like sew marks in the seams of the cloth. They have textures on the pants, and those are $24.99. Okay, then they have Marvel Legends that are just like, here's that same body that you've been buying for 6 years, and we got a Nick Fury head on it now, or whatever, and people are still paying that same amount for that. But I don't know, at this point, I think classifieds figures could be on the same level as NECA. A NECA figure?
Do you
agree?
Maybe not overall, like sculpting
pros
quality,
and cons
but
of different things. Because like NECA's bigger, and sometimes there's more detail, but you know, G.I. Joe offers more articulation. And the one thing though to keep in consideration, especially with the variation there, is that you know that is very much you take a look at like say like Metalhead. I think I talked about this when I showed Metalhead. When what you get with him for $34.99, and you compare that to what you get as a deluxe Star Wars figure at $34.99, and you can see how much a chunk of that licensing fee. I have to think that that's a larger portion of it, because they have to pay out the ass for that license that really limits it, and that's why G.I. Joe, which is owned by Hasbro, they can do so much more with. And
yeah.
But that was in the heyday. That's what all toys. toy companies had was their own original properties for a lot of times.
But
I feel like part of that also because they're like Star Wars fans are gonna buy this. Like
yeah,
I feel like
that too.
Help some of them.
Yes,
but just they're like, oh, I gotta buy that 17th Boba Fett.
but it's the same with Marvel too. Like you just said, like they're still using those same bodies, whereas Classified is almost wholly unique. Where it can be. So there is definitely drawbacks to both. But you're not wrong also, because they will push the limits of that, because they're like, hey, you guys like Boba Fett? How much?
Yeah, because that's the big,
prove it.
The big thing.
Here's a $22.99 repaint that's a Target exclusive.
You guys like Sabine Wren? Here's
Come get
the 3 3/4 figure with a chopper. $50.
Jesus.
What?
Yeah.
But
It's insanity.
Here's the thing, though, that makes it even worse is even with like G.I. Joe has most of the time all new sculpt, very little reuse, and you're getting 7 times as many accessories in that box.
Mm-hmm.
Like you compare it to any Marvel
Legends. I think there's more reuse there than you think, but it's so smartly done.
Yeah.
But where they don't skip, though, is the accessories.
Yeah.
Because the accessories are a lot of unique.
I mean, for instance, what was it? Is it Quick Kick? That was his name?
Mm-hmm.
The one that you didn't like?
Mm-hmm.
He came with, multiple sets of hands, from fists, open hands, karate chopping hands, an alternate head that wasn't really that different. He came with swords, nunchucks.
Okay.
I feel like there was something else. And he came with a fucking chocolate bar. Like, he came with so many fucking things for $25.
In a regular, for the regular mainline figure. Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
Versus then you go over to, like, the Marvel Legends X-Men line, and most of those figures are lucky if they get an extra set of hands.
Yeah.
Let alone an alternate head.
It's also a different department, and I wonder how much that mixes. That's where I would love to have somebody
on the inside.
We should really talk to Aaron about what he could possibly share about that kind of stuff, because I would be interested in how it's different now, because like the different departments don't really intermingle and mix, and I wonder how much of a budget is given to each one, and it would be really fascinating to see ultimately is putting all this work and detail into Classified paying off, because while it's really, really popular, does it sell as many as, say, like a Marvel Legends wave? I don't know.
I don't think so, man. I see the same Quick Kit, Airborne. Right. They're all brand new figures, and I feel like the first shipment is still sitting on shelves. It's kind of weird.
See, I'm not sure where you're going. I've only seen them twice when I initially bought them, and then once again, like recently. Beyond that, everywhere I've gone, it's either been almost all of them gone, or there's only like 1 or 2 left at most.
Oh, yeah. The Walmart's just got their reset done, and that's where I've been mostly going to find those stupid Masters of the Universe figures. But I feel like most of it, like the Techno Viper is gone, and most Big Bow is gone. The more unique characters, I feel like they're the ones that kind of take off.
I think that's kind of the way they always goes.
Yeah, but like the guy that looks like just like the military dude, like Airborne, I feel like he's just kind of sitting around. Like, yeah.
Did you ever find your goggles?
Oh, yeah. Did you find the goggles?
Well, you know what?
Is it a light? I thought it was a light.
I'll just give you the ones I have.
Oh, that's awesome.
I feel like they're more important to you than me, because then I also don't have to figure out how to fit them on the other fucking helmets.
There you go.
When you asked him, he looked so defeated. He was like, no.
He's like, no, they're gone forever. The cat probably shit him out by now.
Yeah, that's the problem. And plus, I mean, our floor, like, I don't know if I've shown the floor before. We have like Nature Stone, which is like really nice, but it's like textured and like,
so it just blends in.
So like that kind of shit is like, you drop it and it's like, it's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone. Like immediately gone. Like if you get on your hands and knees and just go like this, you might find it, but you cannot see it again.
Like you got the Nature Stone that's actually like G.I. Joe accessory print.
Yeah,
it's like I love that.
It's got that G.I. Joe camo.
Yeah, man, you can't find shit.
They're like, we have the Quick Kick candy bar flooring you can get. Like,
I wouldn't have cared as much if I had that and then lost it. I'd be like, eh.
I would have been more upset about
Michael's
that.
heart would have been broken.
Yeah, you'd have been like, oh, you could have just given it to me.
Yeah, you have to throw it away like Jarmar. So one
There
thing,
have to see it die.
Corey already brought up articulation, but I want to point out some articulation with another company who has been made leaps and bounds from when they first started their most recent line, and that is the DC Multiverse. Because I feel like the sculpt and the paint on those figures has come very far in the 4 years that they've been doing it, but the articulation just still is awful. Like not like what you can do, but the visual. Like you've got those square fucking elbows. Like
yeah, their process is a little weird. The way they do
orangutan wrists.
Yeah, those wrists are not good either. They so like what I assume they're doing is they are molding, like they mold like a whole leg, right, in the computer, and then they just kind of like cut it out.
Yeah,
like,
to make it
not necessarily for like the movie figures, because those look a little bit different, but
like the comic book ones where it's a dude in spandex.
Yeah,
like any of the Batmans that don't have armor.
Yeah, it's like very like a sharp look to it, and it's just kind of like, it's almost like he was made out of clay and somebody just kind of like carved out a joint, which I don't necessarily agree with. Like I don't think that should be the way you make a joint. But I don't know. McFarlane, I will say they've come a long way, but it still could be improved upon for sure. But man, as much as I was like excited when I was like, McFarlane's getting DC, like that's insane. And then I saw that first like wave with one issue 1000 Batman, issue 1000 Superman. I was like, this is not it. Like in the weird.
No, it's on recording. Like that's an episode of Figuratively Speaking, and you were not happy.
Oh really?
I remember that episode too. Yeah.
That's amazing. See, I stick to my guns. But
yeah, and then he only buys all of them now.
I was gonna say,
I bought them all. But did I make fun of the animated series ones that he made too? Did I not like those in that episode? I still don't remember, like those.
But probably not.
I mean, well, that's because his original animated series ones just looked stupid as shit for no reason,
especially compared to they don't make DC Direct ones.
Yeah,
which he now makes
he now uses the old sculpts with cheaper quality plastics. Well, yeah, they gave him access to DC Direct. Like DC like gave him the license to use all of those sculpts, so he can remake any DC Direct figure, statue. All of it runs under the McFarlane umbrella now.
I can't believe they brought that animated Joker car out. DC Direct was smart to cancel that. I'll pick one up when it's
$20.
I saw the Bat Cycle for $8 yesterday or the other day. Right, I was like, tempting, but no.
I should have sold mine because I remember because I ordered it though. That last wave was so insane. Even that motorcycle was going for crazy money, and I was like half tempted to get rid of it. And then they announced all these reissues, and I was like, you know what? That's probably for the best because I do love that line. And I was just blindly tempted because, they were going for so much money.
Yeah, a buddy who was going to sell all of his stuff because it was worth so much.
That bike, though, is like, it's a reissue, but it's got terrible colors. It's like if you're going to reissue it,
that's cell shading.
Yeah, I will say that.
I'm
glad I don't have any of that. I don't like those. I don't like any of those.
I don't like them, but I wanted Condiment King and I wanted the Lockdown,
which is ironic. The build figures don't have the cell shading, don't they?
Yeah, they don't. Maybe Condiment King does, but I don't think Lockdown has it.
You still got to spend $100 to build that figure, basically, and you already have all these other figures in better ways. Like I wanted Lockdown, but I was like, no, and I haven't really seen that wave that much.
Yeah, that wave kind of is very sporadic. Yeah, in terms of other McFarlane waves for sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of, man, I had all of these McFarlane figures on order from Amazon, and they all like I was like, okay, any minute now they're gonna show up, and they've all been delayed like indefinitely. I don't know what's up with that either. I've had the order for months. It's like, you guys couldn't have figured that out a little better.
Nope.
Yeah,
oh wait,
I don't.
That was the answer.
We have a topic.
Yes, we do.
We do. I was
so-
like, we'll get there back there eventually.
To be on a more
We were
positive,
getting back there, and I was like,
It was
about to say
Michael's
something
mouse
else,
didn't-
and I was like, oh wait, I shouldn't do that.
yeah. So like on the opposite end of the spectrum, like to be on a more positive note, I feel like one company that is doing spectacular across the board is Jada Toys. Like when you buy one of their figures, I feel like you feel like you're getting your $25 worth. I mean, even Mega Man, he's this big, but you get 2 heads, 4 hands, blast effect, an alternate cannon arm, like,
And a stand for that blast effect.
yes.
I don't know that
that's
you.
cool.
Maybe, I don't even know if you can see it in the packaging.
You're there.
Yeah, it's on the back there.
Mhm.
But that's pretty cool. And
Yeah.
like, I don't have the Street Fighter figures, but they're awesome.
They are.
They're awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
They could
I
just
agree.
release more of them than one every 3 months, 5 months.
I mean,
however
technically,
many.
there's 2 out on the market right now that just we can't find, and that's it's M Bison and
Dulcim.
yeah,
Dolphin, yeah.
Oh, man.
Those look great.
those
I watched
2
a review
are.
on both of them. Those are great.
I see people posting that they find them all the time. I just never see them.
Nate's gonna hate me for saying this, but I display mine with my GI Joes.
No, that's cool. Like,
I mean, I'm
like
I
hardcore.
goes to display mine with my Marvel figures from Marvel vs. Capcom. So
Like,
Right.
some purists may be down with that, but if that's what you love, like if that's like a facet of GI Joe history that you're into, like that's cool.
I just remember you and I, we would go
Yeah,
Many- about that
I've
one.
changed my minds. I look differently at things.
Because
So
you have the scarf now.
It's
I
the
say it must
Yeah.
be the scarf because this is not the Nate we know. This is not the stick in the
Well-
mud. It's not even. You don't even own it, and it's not even a toy. It's a car.
This is Doctor Who Tom Baker.
right.
Nate.
So you're saying he's senile and old?
well, not when he was the doctor.
Oh,
He
Yeah,
was
he
just a
just
little
had
bit.
Yeah, the
You know.
answers for everything.
Yes, and a twinkle in his eye, and a. I don't have his nose, but he's my favorite. He is my favorite. So, what are we talking about?
all right. So does anyone else have anything for like retail level before we move on?
Oh, Jada Toys.
No,
Jada
that's-
Toys
yes,
are
Jada
great.
Toys.
Jada Toys. Display them with your GI Joes. That's cool. I put my. Oh, what do I do with them? Where you go? Oh, I put my Japanese Spider-Man with my Power Rangers because that's my Super Sentai.
There you go.
That's fair.
But some people might not like that, but you know what? You do it how you wanna.
I
It
wanna see
aggravates
Sean-
me because I feel like nobody's talking about Jada. Nobody's talking about all the cool stuff they're doing.
I feel like people are. It's just their stuff comes out so slow or so hard to find that.
And they're still so new.
yeah,
Like
or at least to
Street
this
Fighter line is
yeah.
still new. Mega
Mhm.
Man is still new. We're just getting pre-orders for Wave 2. I think by the end of the year into next year, I think they're going to, you know what? I'm going to call it right now. They're going to be one of the MVPs or VIPs or OPPs, whatever you want to call it, of San Diego this year. Jada Toys is going to come out with a massive license announcement. It's going to shock the world.
Not to derail things,
It's gonna
but
derail.
they did recently tease that they might be doing Mortal Kombat.
Oh, okay. I thought
That
you were
would
going to
be
say
wild.
Ninja Turtles, and I was
No.
going to fucking flip the desk.
That's what I was
That would
gonna
be
say.
that'd be amazing.
They'll be on the scene.
Oh my god,
Care.
if they did
Until
IDW
they
Ninja
get-
Turtles, oh my god, yes.
But
But no, it's Mortal Kombat because so it came out that there was a rumor that kind of got confirmed because it's been removed from Storm Collectibles website completely, but it seems that Storm Collectibles is not doing Mortal Kombat anymore. Whether they lost the license, didn't renew it, whatever.
they hadn't put a new one out in a really long time.
But like even like it's not under their license umbrella on their website anymore. Like everything but
Okay.
that's still there. And around that same time, Jada Toys on one of their Instagram stories put out like, should we? With a picture of Mortal Kombat logo. So
man.
there's a chance at San Diego Comic-Con we're going to see Jada Toys Mortal Kombat figures.
I am going to call it right now that at San Diego, they are going to announce a license that I give a shit about. And that's going to be the biggest shocker.
What is it going to be?
I don't know what that could be.
I don't know.
Like, what, they going to do Godzilla?
A license that I gave a shit about.
Doctor Who?
Is what I'm saying.
You like anything. You like Mortal Kombat, right?
I like Mortal Kombat, but I don't
shit about it.
I don't need figures. I don't. It's just like same with Street Fighter. Like I bought Mega Man because it's Mega Man. Like after that, like I'm limited. Like and now if they did like Castlevania or
that's what I would say. Like do more Capcom games.
Yeah.
Cool it seems like they're doing mostly games, and that's cool. But let's do something. It'd be fantastic if they could do Nintendo, but that's under that Jack's license, so they can't. Because Metroid would be amazing from Jada Toys.
That would be sweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if they did more Capcom stuff, wouldn't that be proving NECA wrong? You remember when NECA was like, "Oh, we can't do any more Capcom stuff because Capcom is just way too hard to deal with."
I thought. Oh, that's right. It was. Was it Capcom or was it Konami?
I thought it was Capcom.
I thought it was Capcom.
Because what would they have done?
They called them out like hardcore, and I remember thinking,
but that's how Randy is. Randy doesn't get his way, and he'd throw a fit about it. Because even with Godzilla, when they lost the Godzilla license, he's like, "Well, you're not going to see any Godzilla stateside figures anymore." And then weeks later, Super 7 announced that they had the line. Like, and Nezco did some, and
with bad guy monsters, like that one was a little.
Yeah.
Like I drank the Kool-Aid on that one from Randy. I was like, they must not be able to do it. And maybe they couldn't, but like why could Super 7? Like did somebody forget to translate something properly at a meeting? Did they not ask? And then at that point
I wouldn't be shocked if they didn't ask, because it seemed like with a lot of things with NECA is they were too chicken shit to like try to push their limits, because with Turtles, up until they basically started whoring Turtles out to everyone, NECA was like, "Oh, we can't do this, we can't do that, we have to be very careful with the license, blah blah blah."
Right.
And it's like, meanwhile, like fucking Nickelodeon's just like, "And you get a turtle, and you get a turtle," and they're just like, "But you got to be careful because we don't want to get the license pulled." It's like, what? So like, Randy very much so, if he doesn't get his way, throws a temper tantrum, it seems. So, and everyone else is at fault but him. So yeah,
I would say if they come out with a Mortal Kombat line, I'm gonna put it with my G.I. Joes.
Now, here's the rub there, and this is maybe what ultimately was our fight was about. Mortal Kombat never had the G.I. Joe branding. Molds use, yes. Street Fighter had G.I. Joe branding on it. G.I. Joe was.
There's that stick in the mud I've been waiting for.
So with you putting your Street Fighter figures with your G.I. Joe, I love it. You put your Mortal Kombat figures there, you can go to hell.
Was that our fight? Are we just reiterating?
I think that was our fight 10
years ago.
And didn't you know that's what I originally brought you on here, to have someone else fight with Nate, and then you guys got along for the first like 10 episodes you were here. So
I feel like I would have always begrudgingly accepted the Street Fighter characters because of that branding. Even if I didn't love the idea, I have to accept it. But yeah, Mortal Kombat, no effing way.
I like that you literally have like a toy canon, like of what is legitimate. Like this is canonized. I have to accept it whether I like it or not. This wasn't. Fuck you. You're a piece of shit.
Well, if you want to mix your toys when you're a kid, that's one thing. We did that all the time. But literally, when you look at a package of Street Fighter and it says G.I. Joe Street Fighter 2, you're like, these guys know Duke. When you pick up that Sonya Blade and it just says Mortal Kombat and it just happens to look a little bit like a Ninja Force figure that you bought 4 years ago, I'm like, I could use this with my G.I. Joes, but they're not G.I. Joes.
But she don't know Duke.
She don't know Duke.
I'm going to go one further, and I'm going to say that the Jean-Claude Van Damme Street Fighter is a really good G.I. Joe movie.
I won't disagree with you. It's not a good movie. Like
we're supposed to be disagreeing. Mike said.
Yeah, those are the rules, and you guys just don't fucking follow them.
It's a terrible movie. Like it is a
a bad movie.
Oh, it is a terrible movie. But it is way like it is kind of like G.I. Joe in the sense because it takes place in different areas and all these different characters, and they look like the characters that they're supposed to. Like you immediately recognize them, even though it's ridiculous.
Put what's that guy's name that played M. Bison? Put him.
Raul Julia.
Yeah, put him in a blue outfit, and he's Cobra Commander.
Yeah, would have been. He died a long time ago.
Jesus,
that was his last movie.
He was.
Anyway,
yeah.
So let's move on to the mid tier here real quick.
Oh, we haven't even gotten to
nope, because we've been talking about G.I. Joe movies for the past 5 minutes.
This is the problem of the live.
Is it though? Is that the problem of the live? Because I feel like that was a problem before the live.
This is better. This is better.
Or how long have we been doing this now?
Almost 4 years in June.
No. Like tonight.
Oh, tonight we've been live for about 45 minutes.
So we could prattle about for a little bit longer and talk about mid tier the next episode.
Yeah, no.
Oh, okay.
Because that's gonna be in 2
All right, let's
weeks.
wrap it up.
So it will be. We're just going to record for 3 hours.
So mid tier. Mid tier. When you're thinking mid tier, you think Super 7. Really, that's about it. There's not a lot of people who are in that $50 range, right?
Mm-hmm. I would include NECA.
You really?
Yeah, I was gonna say. I guess
they are at $40 for some of their stuff.
They're at $40 for the most part. We're calling it $40.
Okay, so we'll go from 35 to 55 then is what we'll call the mid tier. Okay. So at that point, what you're paying more money. What's the standards here? What should be no excuses? This should be a part of it at this point in time.
Just gonna say a fucking stand because still don't fucking get a stand, and this time like he give me the fucking flight stand. But in all seriousness, just because you said NECA, like we're adding them into there, they're like the biggest offenders. They sell like a pack of them. Like just put that in the fucking box at this point. But yeah, okay. I won't mention stands anymore.
How will they make that $10-15 at Target that it just sits there for?
That no one ever buys except for me. And
the only thing is,
it's only 4.
You really won't be able to talk about it when we go high tier because most of them come.
Yeah,
a lot of them do.
If we make it to high tier.
Yeah, I'll just wrap it up. I'll just go quickly by saying multiple heads, multiple hands, a stand, or in the case of NECA, I want at least like 2 or 3 heads. I want, I love it when Jason comes with every utensil that he used to murder someone in that particular movie.
Yes.
Like, that's awesome. Like the Part 7 one literally came with like everything that he used in the movie. So you can do everything that you want to do with that. That's great. I think I want a bigger size at that point. we're talking larger scale. I want to feel a premium. So, I want it to be bigger unless we're talking like, we're talking NECA and Super 7 and things like that. So yeah, I want a larger scale. Nice, unique, even though I'm an opener, I do appreciate packaging. And if I'm paying a premium price,
give us premium the packaging sleeve, Brian Flynn.
Yeah. But I mean, NECA is fantastic at that. They've gone to that kind of universal now window box with the flap on most of their stuff, and I think it's awesome because it allows for a very attractive box, and it especially because of the way it's set up, especially at Targets and Walmarts and places like that, it does give the idea this is not a toy, this is a collectible. Even though I don't really have a distinction, I don't care, but it does kind of show it as something more than what it's 6 aisles over.
Yeah.
I agree.
And that's it. I'll take my answer off the air.
The only things I will add to that, because I do agree, you should have a shit ton of accessories. You should have multiple heads, multiple hands, a stand. You need to have good sculpt, good paint apps, and if you're gonna have a cape or something, it has to be soft goods.
And a wire at this point.
Yeah.
McFarlane's doing it in, at least at his $25 price point. So you can do it at that $35 to $55 price point.
Wired cape, no excuses.
How much was Batgirl? Isn't she the $19.99 price
point? She probably is.
Yeah.
She doesn't really come with a lot. I think she just comes with an extra set of hands and that grappling gun. So,
but then she comes with a wired cape.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. Yep.
And granted, like, I feel like I haven't seen one of the McFarlane ones up close, but it's a pretty basic cape. It's probably nothing like to write home about. I feel like at the $35 to $50 range, you better have a damn good fucking cape on top of all that.
Right.
So I feel like those are like definitely a must.
But I would rather, at this point, I'd rather have a lesser cape with a wire than better, well, I guess that would be depending on the character, but I would almost rather have a wire rather than that more lavish soft goods. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, well, I'm saying at $35 to $50, it better be both.
Yes, yeah. I agree.
I think it's weird that a $20 figure comes with this wired cape, but yet his $25 figure, which was that new Superman, Page Puncher Superman, comes with like the grossest cape ever. Like, it looks like it's made out of red toilet paper of some sort, and it has no wire in it at all. Like, I don't get it. Like, he does come with all those big bulky armor that you can remove, but when I got to the cape, I was like, why on earth would you put this piece of fabric on this figure? It's very silly looking. So yeah, in terms of material, I do get that. But if they were putting on a premium material, I think a wire would be like just a given. Like, it'd be like, we can't make this cape out of an awesome material and then just not put it in there. I think they have to at this point for sure. In terms of packaging, like Nate said, I like stuff like this, like a crazy cool painting that has been commissioned by some, I don't even know who painted this, but I love stuff like this. But at the same time, that was the same price point as like this. Like, he came with no accessories except this guy. Like, that's it. It was like $35. I think actually this was right when it turned to 40. And I remember thinking, I can't believe I paid $40 for this.
And it's not like that's total reuse of the Alien 3 body. So it's not like, there's some minor retool there, but it's not like that was an all new sculpt.
Right. Yeah. Don't make me feel worse.
Oh, sorry.
Because I bought it a second time.
Oh shit!
That one's on you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I didn't say anything about Super 7, but at this point, you just take Super 7 and my expectations are put it in the trash. Like, I'm so tired of them now.
That's fair.
They've fallen.
Although.
Oh, you're gonna get that retro Unicron?
No. Well, that's a whole other thing. But the wave 2 of those Sesame Street reaction, especially that Oscar, those are good.
You've got a purpose for those, though. Good. So that's
yeah.
Yeah. You have a purpose for those, but
yes.
I
do.
That
they look great.
$16.99 price point
on those? No, they're $20 now. Yeah.
Jeez.
That's crazy.
And he's just
crazy. I'm gonna go shove this up my ass because that's about as good as it'll do me. But
one thing that we didn't mention, which is surprising because we had a whole podcast episode about this already, but I kind of feel like at this price point, I think good customer service should be like a given. I can understand if it's like a retail figure that's like, $25 to $30, but when you start to get to closer to that $55 mark, I feel like I said, we should be able to reach out. Hey, we have, and I get it. Like, it's hard to police on like where you purchased it from, as opposed to like the company itself. But there's got to be a little bit more support on that, because you're spending $55, you're getting a figure that the legs are too weak to stand. You know what I mean? And you didn't put a stand in the box, so like it's just double like the.
Even if he did, it just means that his legs would stay like this while the rest of him goes.
He can't just be like this.
Yeah, he's just hanging over like he's like weekend at Bernie's.
But I feel like that could be a huge improvement from like these companies that are taking onus on like the things that they are. At the end of the day, they're selling to a reseller to sell it to us. So,
I will add to that. They should also have a parts department to where they can.
Yes.
I
think that at the very least, even like, it's funny because as much shit as they got, the G.I. Joe Club every year at JoeCon would have a booth. And like, if your show figures were messed up in any way, you just brought it down and they'd swap out parts. They had like a whole bunch of box sets sets aside just to swap parts out of. And I just remember that being like really cool because sometimes it screws up and these are expensive items and,
AKA the most expensive toys ever.
Yes. And I got
those
them
JoeCon
5 times.
And I'm jealous
5
forever.
sets. Yeah. Those were good times. Good times.
Like when you say you got them 5 times, that like you sold them and rebought them, or you literally bought 5 sets?
No, I went 5 times.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I have 5 different sets.
Because he's spoiled.
Because at the JoeCon, when it was done, when you went, you got a 15-figure box set that had 15 figures in it, and then there was a bunch of extra add-ons that you could purchase at the club store. And I would always get a full set every year for the shows that I went to.
Okay.
And I would always set aside like a certain amount of money because back then it was super expensive because it was like $500 or $600 for everything else extra. Now, oh my God, it would be well over $1,000. Like, but anyway, I'm off on another.
No, you're fine. So last up we have high.
I know.
Jesus Christ. Last up we have high end. With high end figures, we're talking that $100 range. What do we think the standard should be? Because for me, like that figure better have articulated everything, and it better be well hidden articulation so it doesn't make the figure look like shit. It better come with multiple heads, multiple hands, multiple accessories, a flight stand, wired cape, other soft goods if it like needs be, effect pieces.
Yeah, I think
best sculpting
really
and paint apps you can imagine.
Away from those effects pieces. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I think a lot of companies have gotten away from the effects pieces, and I think especially I'm looking more at like SH Figure Arts.
Yeah,
they'll include some every now and then, but they used to include more or offer more options, and they haven't been doing that, and I think that sucks.
I think they're moving on to trying to put those in sets though, because if you notice, they did that Goku. I guess anyone, but like effect piece set that you can get.
Yeah, and I got that. I just don't really know how to. I'm gonna do it.
That's fair. It did. Like I looked at it and I was like, that seems confusing as shit. Maybe I won't do it. But then I see people with pictures of them. Like, fuck, that looks good. Maybe I will do it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. But I bought it. I was like, oh, some other time.
Yeah, that's fair.
I will say at $100 price point, if you're dealing with soft goods, they should keep in mind the longevity of how long these soft goods are going to be lasting. Because I really think Mezco. I think a lot of people in about 10 years are going to look at some of those Dark Knight figures on their shelves and they'll be like, "What's all this? What are these elastic strings just like popping out of his costume?" I really think that
any of the pleather
figures,
like the symbiote Spider-Man.
I am shocked that these still exist.
She's got no pants on.
No, she does. She does.
Okay.
You just see it.
Jarmar needs to look
from the other
Jamar's
side.
like, I need to see for science.
I don't want to turn it around while we're live.
Yeah.
I'll show it to you later. Because there's not much there.
They're just perverts. They're...
Yeah, that's fine.
Let's just hope
I'm the one
walking in right now.
It's like you're showing that off again.
The show that I got this was the first thing I showed my wife. I'm like, you are not going to believe what I got.
But so like, I think the gold standard at $100 to $120 range has to be, for me, is the Four Horsemen figure obscura stuff. At $120, looking at those figures, it's like, yep, I am not disappointed in any of that. And just came out with a 2-pack that was $120, which kind of blew me away. So they also have soft goods. Their sculpts are insane. I don't know how a company like the Four Horsemen exists and a company like Super 7, who is arguably a lot bigger, right? I would think, than them. They've been around for a long time. They've been selling.
I think they're more commercialized than.
Yeah.
They have their own store in California. How much does that cost?
I mean,
they gotta be.
Doesn't whatchamacallit have like their own like thing that they take to almost every con in their area though?
Yeah, but paying rent in San Francisco and have a traveling caravan is two different things.
I mean, I just assume Brian Flynn lives there.
I mean,
that doesn't mean the rent's not expensive.
Oh no, but it comes out of his salary. He has to help pay the rent.
It's not
he
coming from
live
the
at
company.
The store.
That's what he said.
That's what I'm saying. Is he lives in the store? I'm saying that he lives there to be able to afford the rent. Yeah, he's the back room is his bedroom.
He's like,
I don't think that's
put him
right.
in TV cribs.
I don't. Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's right either.
I think you guys are lying to me.
Have you ever been there? Do you know?
I don't.
You should ask Chucky B. He went. Ask him if
but
he
I'll
went and knocked on the back door.
Maybe that's how you get your discount.
So for me, like the pinnacle of the high end figures is the McFarlane Gambit. He's got a wired, soft goods, well stitched coat. He's got a bow staff. He's got like 6 pairs of hands. He's got multiple heads. He's got like 8 effect pieces. Like he is stacked them, and he has a flight stand. He is stacked to him.
What's the SRP on those?
Those, when he came out, it would have been probably around 90 to 100 at the time.
Yeah.
It's funny what we justify though, because like that does come with a lot, but we're like 90 to 100, and then we'll be like, Marvel Legend went from 20 to 22.99. We're like, Jesus Christ!
Well, that's because
from 90 to 100.
I'm sorry, if a Marvel Legends figure even came close to one of these import figures,
it's not even close to the same price point. Like,
but they're also not like increasing the value of what you're getting in the package, though.
I just still, I am of the same way, because I wouldn't touch a Dragon Stars figure. Like, thank you.
You did for a long time.
I did. Shut your mouth. I'll come clean. I did, but then I realized they sucked. And I do have maybe like 1 or 2, just because like they never made those characters in SH Figure Arts, and when they do, it's out of there. I don't even remember what I was saying, so I bow out. I yield my time, Senator.
I'm kind of back and forth with McFarlane. Like, I will say I like them, and
didn't I tell you to shut your mouth?
Which, thank you.
I don't believe I ever told you to unshut it. Is my point.
I'm sorry. All right.
I'm kidding.
Can I throw
saw
in
an opportunity and I took it. I apologize.
Wow.
But obviously,
Tom
so
Baker
it was
would
funny.
never. Tom Baker would
No,
never.
he never would have. He never would have. He would have. Peter Capaldi would have.
Oh, 100%. That's why he's definitely like the best.
Not my Doctor Who. No way.
Yeah, well.
What were you saying, Jarmar?
I was gonna say, for that price point, because you bring up a point with like these like SH Figure Arts,
staring at me now. I feel bad.
They are high quality like figures for sure. As far as articulation and everything you get in the box. Michael loves the hands and the extra head.
Give me all the hands in the head.
Yeah, but I would like to see
Michael loves heads in hands.
Took him a minute.
I just would like to see it be standard. And I'm not saying I have like an exact example, but it reminded me of the McFarlane Black Panther that I had, which was a really awesome figure, was great, but ultimately I ended up getting rid of it just because I felt like the durability of that figure, I was very worried about constantly breaking it just because of like the smaller joints and things like that. So for like $100, and I understand it's like you're paying for
the presentation,
maybe the presentation, the lightweight materials, or yada yada. But I also would like to know, like, have a little bit of confidence that like I'm not gonna break it instantly, and I don't know if that's something
don't fucking be a bull in a china shop of your figures. You're not a 4-year-old anymore.
Here's the deal. Like, do you notice this though? He's thinking very much like a dad, because he wants stands so they'll stay off the floor. He wants durability because he doesn't want to replace it all the time. He wants customer service. Like, he needs someone to be there for him, and then he needs parts. And
that's a good point.
One, you're absolutely correct, and two, that's adorable.
I am two-time daddy now.
Yeah.
But no, I would just like to have, like, I'm gonna gush over because excuse me, you can take my opinion with the grain of sand or salt or whatever you want,
not sun,
because I don't have much Mezco experience. But like the heads, like I don't feel like taking off, but like that popping, like filling, it feels like it comes right off. I don't know if it's like a
you say that because the Mezco you have thick ass fucking pegs. You get yourself a Batman figure, and we'll see how well you feel confident that bitch.
But I'm just talking about even at the head. I'm not even using like the foots or like.
That's what I'm saying is the head. Those neck pegs on those are thick as fuck compared to what's on like a Batman or a Superman or Spider-Man.
Again, grain of salt. But just the experience of taking those heads off and swapping them as considered to something lower on the level of like a NECA, for example. NECA, I feels like when I'm pulling it, am I going to pull the whole peg out? I'm not sure.
NECA, you hear it creaking and cracking like my joints in the morning.
And then when I push it in, I'm like, I don't know if it's going to break. I can't. But it's just a very pleasurable thing. And even something that the SH figure arts I have as well, it's going on. It doesn't feel like I'm gonna break it when I'm removing the heads. But that's all. That was my point. I rest my case. Just make them a little bit more durable. That's all.
Oh man, you went from like two-time daddy to just daddy there. It got real weird.
How would you light a candle?
Oh man. All right. So
no Bridgerton for me tonight.
Before we close, or before we have Nate go over the Patreon input, while he gets it ready for that, I'm gonna go through chat real quick.
I'm sorry. Was Corey done when I told him?
I mean, he's done now, is what he is.
I just want to make sure he didn't have anything else to add to that.
He's like, at this point, I don't even remember.
You do have permission, right?
I was just gonna say when McFarlane came out originally,
they were garbage.
Hasbro Marvel Legends were in a very bad spot, and them coming out being a premium Marvel figure, it was like hands down, that's the one you want. And I feel like at this point, like Marvel, like a Marvel Legends figure, like if you had a Marvel Legends Gambit, yeah, you're not getting the soft goods coat, but I think those Marvel Legends Gambit's pretty good too. I mean,
I will say, like, I'm gonna give it because it's not trash. Like Michael likes to have this notion that it's absolute trash.
I'm not saying it's absolute trash. I'm just saying, like, at no point, like, if money's not an object, I feel like you.
But money is an object.
But it's fine. Like if you're saying like if you're on a budget, the Marvel Legends one's good. But the way he's wording it is so much like he would almost choose the Marvel Legends one over the MOFX one, even if he could afford the MOFX one.
Oh, I will never be able to afford the MOFX one.
Well, that's because you're too busy buying trashy McFarlane figures all the time. You'd save fucking $500 a month if you stop collecting those. At that point, you quit collecting McFarlane figures for 1 month, and you could buy every MOFX figure that came out this year.
But I don't,
because there's so few. Because there's so few releases. All right, so while Nate preps for the the thing with the Patreon and the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go through
the thing with quick. The Patreon and the stuff.
Yeah. So
we should get a graphic for that.
Yeah.
The thing with the Patreon.
So anyway, Edgar Gonzalez started off with there was a cold open. I just got here. Yeah, I fumbled through it. It was bad. You didn't miss much. Kavekai Ellis. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Maybe drop down hips like the classified for back when we were on the retail side of things. Chris Allen said he loves the Masterverse. Eric the Mess says that Spider-Man should get multiple hands and web accessories. Then you've got Edgar again. Is it crazy to expect paint at $25, not just colored plastic? That's fair.
That's good. That is a good one because,
especially considering a lot of those plastics aren't the same color, like shades.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's noticeable.
And
it's weird how it's really shifted for that.
Mm-hmm. Edgar also said, first, Eric the Man, I get license fee, but look at NECA, TMNT, or Jada with Street Fighter. Yeah, he's got a point. You're getting more for those grand. Street Fighter isn't going to be as expensive as Marvel or Star Wars, but TMNT's got to be kind of up there, though those figures are also $10 more.
I don't know, man. TMNT license is like... It's like,
just because they're whoring it out doesn't mean that they ain't asking for a decent amount of money for it.
I mean, they don't. I'm just gonna say that they don't have any teeth at this point.
Jesus Christ.
Do with that what you will.
Edgar, I think people are way too okay with McFarlane having sculpted boots and lines that aren't painted or costume accurate. Fair. Eric the Meth, Figma does Metroid 2. Kavekai, Jada should make TV show action figures like Adventure Time, Regular Show, even Bob's Burgers.
Dude.
I would love for this to happen.
Dude,
that'd be a good market to get into. I don't know how like healthy that market would be though.
I don't know, but we're starting to get to that point where people are going to get nostalgic for those because, like, my wife and I are already currently rewatching Regular Show right now, and we're going to do Adventure Time afterwards. And those shows are now like 12, 13 years old, and we're coming up on that golden time where people start, hey, you know what? I'm in my 20s now, and I'm starting to realize life sucks. What did I used to like? And there we go. It's a boom. And Regular Show merchandise, if you go look on the secondary market, there's only a few things like pops and a few things here and there, and that stuff is outrageous money. So I think that would be a low-cost license to do like a really cool limited thing or something. But yeah,
something like the Chester Cheetah kind of situation.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got Spaded 1. I'll be damned if Legend Spider-Man will ever crack a beer with classified gung-ho. He also said that $35 to $50 means paint and accessories to him. Eric the Mess, Super 7 needs better articulation for that price. Facts. Anthony Albert, I want all accessories that should be associated with that version of that character they're selling. That's fair. Spade one again, higher than that. And you get into soft goods, magnets, and silly stuff like articulated butt cheeks. Fair. I want my Spider-Man's cheeks to clap while he's swinging through the city.
I can only think of this weird photo of Spider-Man twerking.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about. So
his legs are out in his butt. Yeah, I don't know.
Every year, when Christmas time hits, I pull up this video. It's Mariah Carey's "All I Want for Christmas Is You." But it like cuts to this really weird thing of these two people dressed as Spider-Man, and one of them just starts smacking the other Spider-Man's ass to the tune, the dun 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 dun. That's all I think about.
I love it.
What a Christmas tradition.
Yep. I feel like that's what the Spider-Man from Into the Spider-Verse probably would have done for the money instead of the Christmas album. Spaded one again. What's that?
I can just think of Michael's grandkids sitting around. Come on, Grandpa's gonna play the video for
us. Oh shit. Spade one again, $25. Jada M. Bison has one of the better capes I've ever seen without getting wild expensive. I have not seen it yet, but I want to. We've got Crazed Ankylosaurus. When are those articulated reaction figures coming? I didn't know they were doing that.
the GI Joe.
The O-rings.
The O-ring stuff.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna see him at San Diego.
Probably.
I think.
And last
If
up,
we don't see him in San Diego, there's something
they
wrong
probably
here.
come in. Yeah, they probably got ditched when the giant Cobra ship failed.
And just a quick one, and maybe I'm interrupting, and this is a whole nother thing. Don't you think that crowdfund thing for that Cobra ship should have been launched like after they like showed the O-ring figures and got people excited about them, and instead of kicking off the line with $500 items that they might or might continue with?
That's a perfect Super 7 thing to do. Like,
yeah.
It's like having none of the basic Simpsons characters in your Simpsons line.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe
that's what I would call a boner.
Maybe come out with like 5 waves of new O-rings and see if like people care enough, and then be like, hey, now we can do a
like
Kickstarter or whatever.
That's fair. And last up, we have Anthony Albert. I wish 4 Horsemen had more articulation. I will say this. I feel like they have plenty of articulation. I think they need better articulation because I feel like it's a little hindersome.
What?
I don't know. That Headless Horseman from the Figure Obscura line, he's a little difficult to pose, especially like on the horse.
But that's mostly to do with because of his plastic draperies, right? His like dress type.
But like there should be ways around that. Like,
I mean,
Jada has the best like soft rubber clothing ever with the Ryu and Ken figures. Like, no hindrance at all. So why can't a figure that's fucking $125 have something that isn't hindering the figure from, being posed? Just saying. Still a great figure, beautiful figure. Just one of those things where I feel like that was a misstep on their end. All right, so that's all of chat. Nate, let's hear some of our wonderful Patreon input. I did not pre-read it this time, so I have no idea what to expect.
Yeah, I kind of did. I was trying to figure out what was in my front yard. That's bizarre looking.
Bigfoot?
No, it's really small.
Jersey
Devil.
Devil.
Little foot.
Littlefoot, the dinosaur.
Right. Tighten your O-ring.
So, all right. Am I doing these dramatically?
Yes.
Still?
Yes, you're still doing these dramatically. Yes.
I had to I had to have my assistant get me some more water.
This is where the scarf is really going to come into play here. So.
That's a good point.
All right, this is from Christopher. Christopher, thank you. I think this really depends on the line. But seeing what Jada can do at a $25 price point really killed my enthusiasm for Black Series.
Did he put that many A's that you had to go like full Billy Goat?
There was 3.
Oh, wow.
Or no, 2. There was 2.
Okay.
2. So, yeah. So,
I'm here for it. I was curious if that was a you thing or if that was a him thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was there. I went with it. I was like, let's take this gift,
That's fair.
That's called collaboration.
That is.
Yeah. Yeah. So you should listen. What Hasbro can do with G.I. Joe killed it as well. For any line, if you lack in one area, make up for it in another. Mythic Legions aren't the most articulate, but the paint sculpt are incredible. Same with NECA. Mirage stuff to a lesser degree.
How dare.
That's all I got in there. So, all right, the next one. Comment Staples, Sook My Taint. It's got a good one here for us. One of you might want to bring out some suntan lotion, though. I'm just saying that. I expect my action figures to have minimal articulation, to not be part of an industry standard scale, to not even be in scale with each other, to have no accessories, but to always have one closed fist and one open hand, but no spare hands. and for at least half of my entire collection, be different variations of Batman. Who am I? I'm a McFarlane collector.
There you go.
Man. So wait, has Corey been like kayfabe suck my taint this entire time?
It's me.
Is that why he keeps getting more titties every week?
So much titties.
It's titties. There's more titties, I think. Should I read this last part? I don't know.
Well, are you talking about the fake podcast? Because that's not till the end.
No.
Should I read this? Is this going to be something that's going to get us in trouble?
I don't think so, but I don't know. I don't want to put that on Corey right now.
How many times have we said the F word? How are we going to get in trouble? Batman.
That might be. Is that a reference to something?
It's a reference to the TV show, yeah.
So TV show.
Yeah.
Well, now we have to know.
Yeah, go ahead. You're good. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. P.S. I'd like Michael to put his graphic design skills to actual good use and make a Fallout-themed modern Toy Fair image where Michael is in a Vault uniform, Jarmar is in an Iron Brotherhood mech, Nate is a cowboy ghoul, and Corey is the chicken fucking doctor.
I like that guy.
Apparently, you find him very relatable.
Yeah. I'm just saying, he seemed like the one having the most fun.
Fair. Oh my god. All right. Well, on that note, let us know in the comments below what you think
there was
industry.
No titties.
We're not there yet. That's at the end.
Oh.
Let us know in the comments below what you think the industry standards should be for your action figures, whether it's the retail $20 to $30 range, if it's the mid-tier with like your $35 NECA up to your $55 Super 7s, or go all out with, you know, your higher tier in the $100 range. Let us know. I'm very curious to see what you have to say.
Also, let us know too which was your favorite tangent we went on.
Yes, because there's so many. So very many.
There was a lot.
Yes.
And I need help remembering them, and I would like people to know, to let us know which ones were their favorite.
That is the one. I will say, you have a point. That is the one downside to the live show, is I can't like force you into a little like fenced-in area with like, well, we have to do the OnlyFigs at 10, so you better wrap it up. Now it's
better wrap it up.
I guess you don't get to go to bed unless you wrap it up. And as always,
tangents.
And as always, if you enjoyed this video or live stream or whatever the hell you want to call it, like and subscribe. It helps us out and gets you a bunch of toilet content for your feed. Right now, most of the stuff on the channel is on a little hiatus. It will be changing here soon. But in the meantime, you can go back and see the vast library. We've got reviews, how to pose videos, there's customizing videos, there's toy hunts, all sorts of stuff. Check it out. We greatly appreciate it. If you haven't already, please check out the Toytography magazine. I am writing an article now, which is probably going to be in every issue. This most recent one is going to be for Photoshop tips on how to remove your flight stands from your photos. So link will be in the description below. You can check it out over in their Facebook group, Toytography magazine there. Probably some other stuff I'm forgetting, but either way, they're great. Check them out. And if you are already a fan of the channel, you'd like to help support us for $1, you can get access to our Patreon. It has all of our old Patreon exclusive episodes we did. It has access to all the photos I take, some that will be early, some that will just be exclusive because posting on Instagram and Twitter is kind of a waste of time anymore. And you also have access to the giving the fake podcast ideas for Nate, or the Patreon input for the podcast, all sorts of stuff. So check that out. Link will be in the description below. Again, that is patreon.com/Modern Toy Fair. You can check Jarmar out over on not Twitch, TikTok @Jarmar_games. Corey, where can everyone find you?
at Vile Consumption on Instagram or Facebook, whatever. Social media is fucked.
Accurate, but his fucked social media is also in the description below. Nate, what you got for us this week?
So I have either a brand new podcast or a podcast that I announced last week. I don't honestly remember, and I'm just gonna read it again. So it's it's either an encore performance or you're hearing it for the first time, but I don't care. It's another chance to talk about Corey's titties. So the next podcast that we're doing, the next episode, which is Corey's Titties Part 4, The Fellowship of the Titties. In this very special podcast, Corey's Titties are back again. Yeah. This week, we give Modern Toy Fair's latest host a few new titties that Michael hopefully pre-screened this time. These include new titles such as The Chicken Fucking Doctor, nice callback, The Man Who Did 365 Sit-Ups Over the Course of 1 year, The Man Who Thinks Cobra Commander Has Some Interesting Ideas, The Man with 2 Left Grippy Hands, and The Man Who's on the top of Brian Flynn's IOU list.
I like all of
those. Good ones.
Those are good.
Are all good.
I also feel like that was new. That was definitely new because the chicken fucker was not there last week.
Yeah. I was gonna say I didn't think so, but then you were like, "But it was 2 weeks ago," and
it's because he posted it. He must have posted it literally like the night that we recorded.
Oh, okay.
So I just assumed that was a week ago. That must have been that one. Because it said it was a week old, so I was just assumed that it was like, oh well, shit. But yeah, no, that was pretty good. Anyway, hopefully see you guys next week. Same toy time, same Toy Fair channel. Thank you for watching.
Peace.